All right, hello, my amazing artist. I've practiced my design on my dry erase board. I've worked on it in my sketchbook, and now I'm ready to take that inspiration and put it onto my final paper. I'm going to write my name on the back and my class code and circle it. Now I'm going to do my design. Here we go. Let me turn my camera around so you guys are not upside down the whole time. Here we go. Whoops. All right. So I'm going to divide this paper in 3 spaces. Okay. I'm now going to make lines that remind me where the spaces can be divided into 2 finger width spaces. Here we go. And some of them might be just a little bit narrow. Others might be wider. Just do your best. Have fun. The big goal is that you're leaving enough room for your paintbrush to get in. All right. I can see that this is one of my sections. This is one is going to be orange. So I'm going to put a letter O, L-O for light orange, regular O for regular orange, and a D-O for dark orange. That helps me remember what I'm doing. This section over here would be purple. So I'm going to do LP for light purple, P for regular purple, DP for dark purple. And last but not least, this is also going to have green because I'm using secondary colors. So to make my plan, I have light green, regular green, and dark green. Using those letters just to remind me where I'm putting everything once I get the paint going. Let's set up our paint. I have my tray where 3 dots of paint have been put in. They're all the same color purple, but I have 3 because I'm going to be mixing 2 of these, one for a shade, one for a tint. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the regular purple. That's called a hue. So when we don't have anything that's mixed in to a color, it's called a pure hue. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see. This brush has a flat edge, so I'm going to glide that flat edge. I'm going to line it up, take my time. Something I didn't do is I could go back and erase my reminder note, that letter P, if I want to. And that would be a fine thing to do if you're concerned about it showing through your paint. This brush is nice and large. It is, I like to tell students, once you press on it and go one direction, it's about 2 finger widths wide, maybe 1.5. I'm going to smooth that out. Beautiful. If you cross your lines, it's going to be okay. It's just a little bit because we're going to come back when this painting is done and go over the division lines with a black colored pencil. So there's my purple. My brush, I haven't washed it yet. I don't need to right now. My next step is going to be mixing a tint. A tint means that we're adding white. So I've got white right here in a paint syringe. I'm going to squirt just a little bit. I do not fill. Hang on just a minute. I'm not filling that well, that hole right here. I'm just getting a little bit. And I'm going to scoop. I like to scoop as if it's mashed potatoes, and then I'm just going to lift my brush up and down, up and down. I try not to stir in circles because it actually saves my paint where I've got more here. This space is smaller, so I don't need a lot of paint. I like this tint. As I'm looking, it kind of looks similar to this purple, so I'm going to add some more white. And that's okay. Using your eyes to help you see. My syringe is squeaky because it has air bubbles. Here we go. Here we go. So now I can see the tint happening where it is a lighter version of my purple. I'm going to get a smaller brush that's narrower so I can get into that narrow space. I have different sizes available if you need them or want them. But large brush, large spaces, small brush, small spaces. Here we go. Lastly, I'm going to do the tint. In order to do that, we're going to need to wash the brush with soap, not soap. Wash with water and then dry it off. Okay, let me pause and go do that. All right, so I'm back with my clean brush. I'm unpaused. You'll notice that my paper towel's wet. I want to show you to make sure that when you dry that brush after you clean it, you're going to gently press those bristles. It's not pulling them out, but giving them a little pinch. Because when you brush, we want that to be completely dry. All right? Now that my brush is dry, I'm going to go to this section over here. Doesn't take a lot of paint for this project. To make a shade, I have my syringe. It has black paint. Black is very powerful, so it actually doesn't take much. I'm going to be mixing this in a slightly different way because black is so powerful. Here we go. I'm going to dip just the corner of my brush into that, and I'm going to gently stir into this larger part right here. I'm going to immediately start seeing the color change. You might decide, oh, that's not enough of a change. Well, let's test it. As I look to see if it is indeed darker, let's look. Is it enough of a difference? I think we're just about there. I think I'm going to add just a tiny little tap more. That black paint is powerful. You find that you get too much black paint in there because it does mix up quick. I have some extra purple right here that I could always add back into. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. I've got that narrow space. I can turn my brush to the pointed edge to help me get in there. It's okay to see your paint strokes. This is a painting. Some artists prefer to try to smooth everything out, but with a painting, it's okay to see those paint strokes, especially when you've created the colors yourself. So there you have it. I've got a tint, a shade, and a regular hue right there in the middle. I would repeat this process again. The next thing I would do would probably do either green or orange, but I'm only going to work with one color. Again, the vocabulary word for that would be a hue at a time. All right, happy painting.